Life was filled with guns and war, and everyone got trampled on the floor.
So today I wanted to talk about just the political system here in Australia, voting, the politicians, all that sort of stuff. So I've had a really big week in the Masonic pit. I've done videos on this previously, but I've had a really big week in the Masonic pit, like learning that the V8 supercars were all Masonic. People like Peter Brock are Masonic, and I'm starting to learn now about the golden calf in the Bible. Like the golden calf to me starting to signify Freemasonry and being led astray from the Lord. And that's what it represents today, is Freemasonry. And the golden calf, that represents wealth and affluence and just wealth and affluence in the flesh, on the earth, money, wealth, fame, that sort of stuff. That's chasing the golden calf and worshipping the golden calf. That's what I'm believing here this morning. So with the political system, so as I say, I've learned over the last week that the tipping point was Craig Lowndes in the V8 supercars, and then that took me to Peter Brock, and then from there I've just seen it all, like the underarm thing, Greg Chappell throwing out the Masonic hand signs, Shane Warne. I used to worship Shane Warne. I loved Shane Warne. He's an Australian spin bowler, leg spin bowler, and he was just an amazing bowler, amazing. But I've watched him yesterday. I went and watched this special about the ball tampering scandal in South Africa, because that just brings on new meanings for me now. That whole ball tampering thing. I've always smelled a rat with reverse swing and drop-in pitches. I've done videos on them previously, and my fears were correct. They've been confirmed. They're all Freemasons. Shane Warne's a Freemason. I've seen him do it. I've seen him do the hand signs on this special. Graham Smith, the former South African, all of them are Freemasons, and it's just like the music, it's just like the movies. You cannot play cricket for Australia unless you're a Freemason. The most well-known cricketer here in Australia is Donald Bradman, Sir Donald Bradman. If you've got the Sir, that's regal. That means you're of the aristocracy, which is Switzerland, which is the modern day Pharaoh, which is the sun worshippers. So cricket's biggest character, cricket's biggest idol is Sir Donald Bradman. So it's all just falling by the day. Within the political system, I've got a white four-wheel drive with its lights on up my ass. Whoa! With the political system this week, I've seen Scott Morrison do Masonic hand signs. He's the current Australian Prime Minister. Our ex-Prime Minister, Malcolm Turnbull, he openly admits that he's a Jew, which means he's a Revelation 2.9er, because he's not from any of the tribes of Israel. Scott Morrison's doing it. I've seen Bill Shorten do it, Masonic hand signs, and all the political reporters. I've seen Sam Maiden. I've seen Peter Credlin. I've seen Kieran Gilbert. I've seen David Spears. All of these ones on Sky News. I've just been watching from time to time to try and spot it. Laura Jays, I've seen them all. They're just throwing out Masonic hand signs, as are the politicians. I've just seen Julia Gillard this morning. She was an ex-Prime Minister here in Australia. She was the first woman Prime Minister, and she was victimised, the victim of misogyny from the big bad Tony Abbott, the whole time she was Prime Minister. Why did that go on? It was to push the women's agenda. The whole way it was to push the women's agenda, turn women into victims, and you see it manifesting today here in Australia. We've got women's sport just absolutely getting rammed down our throats. Every time you turn on the TV now, it's women's sport. You look at the crowd, there's no one there. No one gives a shit. And it's just, yesterday we had National Women's Day, and it just goes on and on and on. Why do they do this? One, it's to cause division. It's to elevate women over men, which is anti-biblical, because the man it's all about the male seed, and Jesus and the Lord are all males, so it's anti-God, and it comes back to Eve, the demon seed, the Jezebel spirit, the New World Order. It all just links in. Julia Gillard was on this panel about international feminism or some shit, and that Meghan Merkel there is just carrying on about her bloody fake baby bump she's got, that fake baby. She's not even pregnant, that creature. They're just liars, liars, liars. Julia Gillard's on this panel, and she just looks like she's always looked like a creature, but these days she absolutely looks like a creature. She doesn't look human anymore. She's got that Nicole Kidman head going on, that plasticine, long drawn reptilian-like head going on, that they're not human. And she's on this panel for international feminism. I mean, why do we need a panel for international feminism? It's ridiculous. The whole notion of equality just completely falls down. If everything's equal, why is there not men playing women's sport? Why? Why can't I now just go and strap on a set of pads and go and play international women's cricket? Why? It's because it goes against their agenda, and the whole thing falls down. If the whole thing's equal, if everything's equal, there should be just men and women playing sports. And you know what? In the same sports team. And you know what? That's what's coming. That's what's coming. That's imminent, because it's all about one and unity. But after all that, the reason for this video is just the political system, voting, all that, my part in it. So here in Australia, we've got a political system where it's compulsory to vote. You must vote. You have to. It's against the law not to vote. I've made the decision, of course, this will be no shock to my subs and those familiar with my videos, that I will not be voting. The only choice left for me is, do I actually participate? Do I just not go and cop the fine? Or do I go in? If I go in, do I cause a fuss? Or do I just, cause a fuss? Or do I just go in and I just put a blank piece of paper into the pit? I'm feeling in my heart of hearts this morning that I'm not going to go and cause a fuss, because that's not what the Lord wants me to do, because he wants me to love my neighbour, the gospel. So it's not that. And if I go in and I put the blank piece of paper in the pit, that means that I am participating within the system. So I can't do that. So to me, I'm not going to participate. So then there's the fine. Do I pay the fine or not? And no, I'm not going to pay the fine. Why? Because I walk with Christ. I walk with the Lord. They're all Freemasons. They're all of the enemy. They're all of the golden calf. And as my ass points to the ground, guys, I'm not going to participate in a system anymore that's pro-abortion, that's pro-equality, that's pro, what was the other thing I was looking for? That's pro-money, that pushes this left-right paradigm shit, that's global change, that's the globe, the education system, all of it. It's sick, it's rotten, it makes me sick to the guts, and I want no part of it. So for me, voting, it's gone. We've got a federal election coming up here in a couple of months. I won't be participating at all. I'll cop the fine and I won't pay it, and I'm going to see where that leads. And we've got a New South Wales election as well this year. Apparently, I'm not going to participate in that as well, and I'll cop another fine. How am I going to deal with it? I'm going to pray to the Lord. I'm going to pray to the Lord that He guides me through it, because I'm going to have a debt to the state, and that's where my life is going. So praise be to Jesus, guys. You can just see how absolutely dead set I am with this stuff. I'm not making this shit up. It's coming from the heart. And why is it coming from the heart? It's because the Lord has given me all this wisdom. Praise be to Jesus, guys. I hope somebody who's having a conflict with voting gets something out of this. Don't vote. Have nothing to do with it. It's calf worship. It's idol worship. And I will have nothing to do with it any longer.
The sun has come. You